Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, stated British painter Francis Bacon. Beauty, according to the writer Émile Zola, is dependent on the state of mind and the moment of life in which it is contemplated. Determining which cities are lovely and which are not is somewhat subjective. To avoid dispute, most travelers consider other aspects such as the size of the city, its architecture, green areas, legacy, historical artistic set, and whether they have a rich gastronomy of their own, in addition to their own experience. These are our top 10 most beautiful cities in the world based on those criteria. Number 10. Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto seemed to have stopped time. This old Japanese capital combines the grandeur of a classic city with more modern neighborhoods, where many still wear kimono. It is one of the few Japanese cities that was not attacked during World War II, therefore its architecture and heritage have been preserved almost all. Kyoto, Japan's cultural and film capital, is situated on the island of Honshu. More than 1,600 Buddhist temples, 400 Shinto shrines, old royal residences, film studios, and more than 200 gardens are among the country's most attractive due to the diversity of its flora. His university is also one of Japan's most prestigious, thus the environment is ideal. Number 9. Dubrovnik, Croatia. It was one of the hardest hit cities during the Balkan War, and it was brutally bombed. Despite its wounds, this European city has been able to reclaim the old beauty that defines it. This medieval city, known as the Gem of the Adriatic, is surrounded by a wall and is known for its importance in the arts and sciences. It contains an ochre-colored city with a unique ambience that combines tradition and art. Knights, fishermen, looters, kings, and merchants once walked its streets. Many of the ancient craftsmen's homes have since been turned into galleries, workshops, or small businesses. The magnificence of this city has inspired television shows such as Game of Thrones, which has used it as a set throughout its seasons. But even without the film, this is one of the most gorgeous cities on the planet. Number 8. St. Petersburg, Russia. Due to its canals and more than 300 bridges, Russia is known as the Venice of the North, and it pampers the flamboyant palaces left behind from the Tsar's empire. St. Petersburg's architecture makes it one of the most attractive cities in the world. But there's a lot more to it than that. This former Russian capital, whose streets and squares witnessed some of the bloodiest chapters of its history, is now an open-air museum buried by snow during the winter months. The vibrant colors of the cathedrals, castles, and structures stand out on their own. The Hermitage Museum exhibits some of the world's most important works of art and allows tourists to tour some of the Romanov dynasty's halls. The most vibrant part of town, where life is anything but static, is Nevsky. St. Petersburg's universal communication route, which houses the city's most modern buildings. Number 7. Prague, Czech Republic. This fantasy city is one of Europe's most attractive cities, not just for its architecture but also for its unique artistic sensibility. It has produced incredible musicians, writers, and filmmakers who have helped to give the city its distinct bohemian flavor. It has been likened to Paris on multiple times in this regard. Its medieval aura might take us to another era. The city's old center, the Charles Bridge, and the astronomical clock are just a few of the attractions that delight the expanding number of tourists that visit each year. Number 6. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town, undoubtedly one of Africa's most multicultural cities, is a must-see on any trip to South Africa, and has done the finest job of blending its European background with its African identity. The explosion of color in its gorgeous dwellings is its main draw. Its environs, too, are made up of practically pure nature. Large hills and lush greenery can be found, as well as crystal clear ocean beaches with penguin colonies, Simon's Town, and a seal island, Hout Bay. Some of the top vineyards in the country are located near to the city. Many leaders of the anti-apartheid struggle were born in Cape Town, according to its history. In fact, it was in this city that Nelson Mandela delivered the speech that signaled the start of the country's new era. Number 5. Bergen, Norway. It is one of Norway's most photographed cities, as well as one of the most beautiful cities on the planet. Its historic quarter, Bryggen, was previously occupied by the Hanseatica League and is the city's postcard of colorful dwellings. It is nestled between 7 hills, some of which are said to be home to the town's famous trolls. It's also the starting point for exploring the Norwegian fjords. It is therefore unsurprising that it is one of the most important locations for contemplating this natural magnificence. The Code Museum houses some of the most important paintings of Edvard Munch, Norway's most famous painter. We'll get a better taste of it at the port, where various street sellers serve some of the country's gourmet delicacies. Their signature dishes are salmon and dried cod. Number 4. Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul, located halfway between Europe and Asia, is an example of ancient customs coexisting with Western modernism. It was first known as Byzantium, then Constantinople. Its history may still be felt in the city's oldest quarter. Some of the city's most important structures, like as the Blue Mosque, Hagia Sophia, Cisterna Basilica, Topkapi Palace, and Grand Bazaar, may transport us back in time. The city's most cosmopolitan district lies on the other side of the Bosphorus, where culture and life have become much more westernized. Istanbul has opened out to the world while maintaining its Turkish identity. Istanbul has opened out to the world while maintaining its Turkish identity. Number 3. San Francisco, United States. One of the most beautiful cities in the United States is the city of the slopes. Its huge garden areas, parks where you can get away from the city, and the beaches that surround its shore make it a popular tourist destination. The Golden Gate Bridge is one of America's most well-known landmarks. The popular painted ladies can also be found at Lamo Square. The multinational character of cities is reflected in their surrounding communities. They're all vibrant and cosmopolitan. It is also a city that thrives on entertainment, the performing arts, music, and its diverse collection of museums. Number 2. Venice, Italy. More than 400 bridges connect more than 100 little islands that make up the metropolis of the Channels. Its greatest attraction is that it is a pedestrian-only city, with only the boats crossing its channels as the only mode of transportation. This is why Venice is known as one of Europe's most charming and unique towns. Many artists have contributed to it. There is a Venetian school of painting, and specimens may be found in numerous museums across the world. The Plaza de San Marcos is one of the city's great attractions, as is its Renaissance architecture. There are some of the most popular tourist-friendly Italian cafes and eateries there. It was also a pivotal point in the development of Italian music. Not only was Vivaldi born here, but it also houses one of the world's most famous opera coliseums. Number 1. Paris, France. Paris is the most beautiful and elegant of all cities, with monumental squares, centuries-old churches, famous boulevards, the Seine and romantic bridges that cross it, majestic mansions, and Montmartre's cobblestone streets. The City of Light has inspired not just painters, sculptors, writers, poets, and composers, but almost every major international capital, with each city claiming its own Champs-Élysées. It's easy to see why so many visitors fall in love with Paris after taking a Seine cruise or watching the world go by from a café patio. Spring, April to June, and fall, September to November, are the finest periods to visit Paris, September to October. Paris has experienced severe temperatures in both summer and winter in recent years, possibly as a result of global warming. The high heat, along with the pollution, makes summer visits to Paris unpleasant. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.